Welcome back to Warriors Pregame, presented by FSQ Sports Training in Level Green. I'm Dan Flickinger, and I'm being joined now by the head coach of the Penn-Trafford Warriors, John Ruane, as we get you ready for the Warriors and the Connellsville Falcons. And, Coach, obviously it was very disappointing to miss the game against Gateway on Sunday, one that everybody has circled on their calendars, and I'm sure you guys and Gateway does as well. Kind of take me through what the disappointment was like for your team and kind of when you found out the news and just the process that you guys had to go through.
Well, I mean, it was obviously tragically disappointing when you have a, potential conference championship game, against what we think is our top rival. And, we know that there's mutual respect on both sides. You can really get up for that game. Like you said, preseason, that game is circled. And then, Gateway had COVID, and we had to push it back to Sunday night, which was a unique. A lot of people might have thought that was like not a good move, but we thought it was a great move just to, get the game in, and then the following week keep our consistency with the rest of the season. So Sunday night it was going to be pretty much the only show in town, really, and which was another cool thing. And then the news hit a PT, and I don't know, it was really deflating. I mean, we really, really put some work into the week. Kids were practicing great. Coaches put in a ton of game plan hours, and then it just kind of got taken away. So, like anything else, it's nobody's fault. 2020 has just been a complete nightmare, and it's just another example of it for Penn-Trafford football. But, we're not going to feel sorry for ourselves because everyone's going through something somewhere, some way. This is just our little piece of the puzzle. So very disappointing. We get up for that game, and, hopefully we get another chance maybe in the playoffs to face off.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys will have an opportunity to face them down the road. Kind of take us through what the process now has been since you guys have been able to practice again. I know it's been a short weeks for sure to prepare for Connellsville now.
So we couldn't do anything till Wednesday, which meant Monday and Tuesday we spent virtually doing Zoom meetings, or Google Meets, I should say. So we watched a lot of film on Connellsville as a team. Coaches kind of broke down our game plan that we made over the weekend, and kind of show the kids what we're expecting to do. And obviously it's got to be a little bit watered down compared to a normal week just for the lack of time. But at the same time, we're at the point of the season. We have a lot of veteran kids where, even if you don't rep this stuff in practice, it should come second nature at this point. So, we're hoping that takes over against Connellsville tonight. But, Wednesday was tough. We squeezed about 3 days of practice into one with all the periods that we have to cover throughout the week. We omitted a couple periods we typically do. But, we feel like the kids picked up on everything as best they could. They had a great attitude about it, great work ethic on Wednesday and yesterday. So hopefully we're ready to play.
Well, let's talk a little bit about actual football now. Your most recent game, that win against Woodland Hills, one in which your running game and defense really set the tone, Coach. There were lots of new guys in that front seven coming into this year for your defense, but it's been more of the same from that group, especially lately. So how has that unit developed to this point in the season, would you say?
Tremendous. I mean, our secondary was going to be the key because they were all returning players, and they're all excellent players. The Fries and Brad Ford have been awesome for 2 years now for us in that secondary. And, they're playing up to expectation level. Cade Yacamelli has been back in that secondary, and he's been tremendous back there. He had a nice interception, and he seems to have a nose for the football. Our linebackers have really developed, though. Most of those guys are first-time starters. And, we have Ethan playing defense, and he does a great job at outside backer. Jack Jolly has been awesome on the inside, along with, Thomas Wilkie and Cole Dara. We're really happy with that unit. And then, the one that's the returning starter has been fantastic week in and week out, and that's Chase Vecchio. He seems to be in the opponent's backfield when he blitzes and making big collisions. And then again, up front, it's three new guys, and they've developed each week. And it's similar to our offensive line. It's a bunch of new guys, and you get better through experience, and we've seen tremendous growth on both sides of the ball with the guys up front. So, we're progressing. We hated to lose a week of that progression, but certainly we're pleased with the direction everybody's headed. But our defense has been awesome all year long, and that's why we're successful.
Well, you mentioned Cade Giacomelli, and I know we asked you a few of these questions last week, an interview that unfortunately never got on. But during our preseason coaches show, you made a comment about Cade and how hard he worked in the offseason to transform his body, and obviously that's translated into on-field success. Can you expand a little bit on the player that he's really become in his junior year now?
Yeah. Cade's a terrific athlete, just a terrific natural athlete. But like you said, he's worked hard to take that to another level. He's a smooth guy. He's a good one-cut runner. And, with his experience at running back now, he's getting better every single week. We love the way he ran against Woodland Hills. He was downhill. He was making them arm tackle because he was so quick to the defender. And then he has a finish. I mean, he's a heck of a player on both sides of the ball right now. And then, he does a ton for us. He returns punts and kickoffs. He's actually long snapping. So, I mean, this is a guy that's, extremely valuable for our team. He's really made a name for himself, and I'm sure that's going to continue.
It's a strange season, just 4 games in, and you've only got 2 games left. How would you assess your team to this point, and what are some of the biggest things you kind of want to see continue to improve these next 2 weeks?
Well, I mean, I think we are improving. I think we worked out a lot of glitches that, minus camp. When you don't have a camp, there's so much you miss, the fundamentals, the techniques and stuff. And then not only that, we didn't have a spring. Mm-hmm. Which is another place where we work out a ton of things. So I really credit the kids for, buying in 1,000% when we got together and still doing that every single day at practice and having the best possible attitude through all this that they could possibly have. But I see us getting better. We certainly haven't peaked yet. We certainly found our stride in the running game against Woodland Hills. Mm-hmm. That has to continue, and that's only going to do things like open up the pass game for us. And I think we've been pretty good at our balance on offense. The mix of run and pass and taking what's there. And, against Woodland Hills, it seemed like we could run the ball a little more formidably than throw it, just because that's how they lined up on defense, and that's what they decided they wanted to take away. So, the sign of a good team and good players is, be able to adapt and adjust to whatever's thrown at you, and I think they've done a great job with that. So I'm really happy with our progress, especially in this circumstance.
Well, let's turn our attention to the Connellsville Falcons, a team you play every year, a coach you're very familiar with, Penn-Trafford alum Marco Thomas. His dad coached for you years ago. 2 close losses at home to Kiski and then last week against Latrobe. And while their record doesn't show it, it seems as if the program's been taking some strides, particularly on the offensive side of the ball this season. Would that be your assessment as well? For sure.
I mean, you watch those games, and you hate to say it, like the ball could bounce either way, but literally – they just had a couple bad breaks at the end of those 2 games, and otherwise they have a couple wins under their belt. But they've done a good job against everybody, really moving the football and scoring some points. Their quarterback is really dynamic. The Jalak kid, he's a dual threat guy. I mean, he can throw the ball really well, but he runs read extremely well. One of the better kids I've seen do it.
Coach, thank you so much. Good luck tonight against the Connellsville Falcons. That is Coach John Ruane of the Penn-Trafford Warriors here on Warriors Pregame presented by FSQ Sports Training. We're going to take a break. Dave Floyd and Roger Downs will rejoin you and get you ready for kickoff here on the Westmoreland Sports Network right after these messages.